Hey everyone, Friday night, TGIF. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm checking in before the weekend. I am Jennifer Juniper and I'm here for your call to adventure. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about cleansing yourself. I personally woke up this morning just feeling very, very rested. I woke up at like 5:30, and I never really do that these days. And I just felt the need that I had to cleanse my energy big time. I had a lot of downloads during Lionsgate. I'm sure you guys all did too. And sometimes you don't have an opportunity to maybe get some Reiki or work with another healer or get out into a forest bath or something of that nature. There's so many solutions to clearing your energy. The easiest one is simple salt. I don't know if I've spoken about this before, but I decided I would today because there's so much you could do with salt. Salt's literally a crystal. Look, it's my little thing of Himalayan salt. So this is one of the things that we keep in our apothecary. I also have some gourmet white Himalayan. And just some little coarse sea salt. And of course, my number one thing on the website, black salt. Now, let's chat about how to use it. My first thing I do with salt is this morning, I put some in my bath. Nice warm bath. Sometimes I'll even put a selenite bar in the bath, even though I know, maybe you have one particular selenite bar that you only put in the bath because you know it's going to dissolve. So salt and selenite, that was my bath this morning. And by the time I finished, I just felt like I had lost about 5 pounds. And sometimes we need to do things like this. Just like I talk about being friends with your crystals, or maybe I talk about smoke cleansing. It's all part of the same thing. Actually, have you guys met Patricia? This is Patricia. Patricia is my gorgeous monstera. Love her to pieces. Say hello. Lighting in here is pretty good today, so I had to keep going. So, of course, so easy and simple. Just a little bit of salt. I taught you how to make the magnificence water. So pretty much you're making a bath of magnificence water. It is soaking into all the pores of your skin. It feels good. It doesn't have to be Epsom salt. It could be any kind of salt, really. So use what you have at hand and take a nice bath. Maybe even just wash your hands. If you don't have time for a bath, you could keep some salt with you, so you can always just give your hands like a nice little salt bath. There's so many ways to use salt. I'm sure you guys could give me a million different examples. However, I just started thinking so much about salt in general. Like, I wanted to know more about salt. Obviously, salt is a crystal. It's a trace mineral. And that makes it very, very, very pure. So we'll start with that. That's the easy part, right? So salt is a crystal. There are usually 2 categories of salts. We've got rock salt, which is called halite. And then there's sea salt, which is self-explanatory. Another thing, when you go and swim in the ocean, one of my favorite quotes about cleansing yourself is, the cure for everything is salt water. And that is sweat, tears, and the sea. All of those have salt water in it. Think about it. Just think about it. I don't even have to go further with that, but how wonderful is that quote? So let's talk more about how salt became such a thing, right? Other than it just sort of came out of nowhere, like many of our herbs and other minerals and things over centuries that have been used. But salt was kind of a big deal. So, some like Greek philosophers, Homer and Plato. Homer called salt the divine substance. Plato called salt the most especially dear to the gods. So salt helps also, aside from flavor, and whether flavor is actual taste or it is metaphor, it helped to preserve things back in the day. So even if it was just food, it could be many things. The trace minerals in salt will help preserve almost anything, which made it such sort of like an auspicious mineral, if you want to call it that. It had the ability to preserve and give longevity. Sometimes even people would think it would help with the longevity of your soul and spirit beyond the grave. There's a lot of different quotes. I love that. There's a lot I'll go. Aside from Homer and Plato, I don't know if you guys like literally when Jesus was at the Sermon of the Mount, that's where that quote, the salt of the earth, came from. As he said to his disciples, go out and be the salt of the earth, meaning to spread the message. It obviously goes further on to say, if that shall dilute, la 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 la. I don't know the Bible verbatim, but then the disciples are here out to continue to preserve and allow that flavoring of preserving the word or the philosophy, what have you. So that's kind of interesting. That's the first quote I thought about, salt of the earth. Salt of the earth. Didn't know that came from the Bible, the Sermon on the Mount. So that's kind of cool. My biggest, I just have to say, after doing this morning, it's been the first time for a while, I'm going to recommend, definitely, if you ever wake up before the sunrise or just when the sun is rising, take a salt bath. Maybe even do like a dry brush if you have one of those dry brushes, or you can make a sugar scrub to do your actual whole body. And I want to know what you really feel. Like, what does it feel like to you? Do you feel like you're kind of cleansing your aura, your energy, your pores in your skin, getting down to that circulatory place within you? I think that some people would even call salt water a holy water of some sort. And we talked again about the magnificence water. So we're bathing in magnificence water, as I said. And there's a couple other things about salt you probably hear about all the time. So for one thing, the whole thing about taking salt and throwing it over your left shoulder for good luck, it actually was for protection. So that if you took the salt and you threw it over your shoulder, it would get into the devil's eyes and then he would run away. I love that. I also love protection of your home. You could take a bowl of salt. You could do this indoors or outdoors. You actually could do some of it with rice too, but we're talking about salt today. So take a lemon and cut your lemon. I like to take your lemons that are, a few days old. Maybe you're not going to use it for cooking or something like that, and sprinkle salt like all over it. Light a little candle, say a prayer, say an intention. Leaving a bowl of salt at your front door or what have you, it will also help to keep spirits out of the way, because spirits feel like bad spirits feel like they have to count everything. So there's a million granules, so they'll be there forever and get bored and leave. It's another quote. So Salt dispel, all is well. Used in so many sacred offerings to invoke the gods. Take something with the grain of salt. That's a whole nother thing. Salt of the earth, take something with a grain of salt. Over the shoulder. I think we got a lot of it, really. It's really just the simplest thing. One of the simplest seasonings we use all the time, and it just helps us maintain equilibrium in the body and the mind. So I definitely want you to try this out. All about the salt. Obviously for purification of the aura in particular, it's most of the regular salts. Just to mention, since I already did, there's also black salt. Now this isn't for eating. We make this here. And this is really for protection from serious negative energy. It could be put a line on your front door or a perimeter to keep you boundaries from those entities and people and whatnot that you don't want in your sphere. Black salt is an excellent solution for that. I would say this definitely falls into the category of maybe a Florida water and even a clear quartz. This is positive transformation with just the simple handful of salt. There you go. So go take a bath. See you guys later. Have an amazing weekend. I'm Jennifer Juniper, and I'm here for your call to adventure to tell you all your little magical things. Have a great weekend. Please subscribe. I will be filling you in as much as I possibly can and letting you know various rituals and sometimes poetry, sometimes talking about portals, sometimes astrology, sometimes art, all the things. I'm just here to help enhance your life and make you the best that you can be. So next time you wake up pretty early in the morning, take a nice salt bath and see how that feels for you. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.